What's up, everybody? Ryan Bresnan back here with Talking Point of the Day. This is a special episode, y'all, because this is my favorite book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Man, this this is my favorite book of all time so far. It's my number one, numero uno. This was recommended to me by my great friend Spencer Gregory back in sophomore year of high school. And this was the first book I had read since middle school, probably sixth grade or maybe even fifth grade, whenever I was reading Percy Jackson and Olympians, all those fiction books, which were great. I stopped reading because everybody my age stopped reading. Maybe some people did, but just reading wasn't in anymore. It wasn't a thing. I just bought into that. Why did I stop reading? I don't know, but I'm glad I did because I wouldn't have came to this book and I wouldn't have gotten the realization of how valuable reading is and how much great things you can learn from it and how much knowledge you're gaining and how much health you're bringing to yourself and your mind and your body, and it's a good practice, and you're just getting so far ahead of the game by reading and not watching TV or playing video games or doing whatever else. You are gaining so much from reading, and this is what this book taught me. And it has nothing to do with reading. It has everything to do with purpose, which is today's episode. Uh, Purpose is a huge thing in life. This is really the number one reason and way I live my life, which is purpose. So we're going to talk about what that means, what that can mean for other people, what it means for me, how I live it, why is it important, why is it so important in society and just in life, and talking about why we're here. And then, of course, relating it back to the book, which is all about purpose. This is what I learned from it. It's about following your dreams and purpose. So I don't want to spoil the book. That's not what I don't want to do that in these episodes. But general story about the Alchemist was it's about a shepherd boy who has a dream of a certain occurrence happening, going to a certain place, and starts with this story. Okay, shepherd, he has a dream, and throughout the book he meets certain people and gets in certain synchronicities, things happening at the right time, the right place, because he made a certain decision, and it's all about him just kind of like, okay, this is my dream. He goes on a path and he might hit a dead end and be like, oh, this is not it, this is not what I want to do, and then he takes a step back or maybe takes a step right or left, and then he gets back on the path of his dream. And that's basically the book, is he's going from instance to instance, having thing occur, and he starts to see and feel, okay, if I'm on my purpose, if I'm on the right path, things start coming easier. I start meeting new people that are very grateful and they become great friends, and then good things start happening. And it's sort of like the law of attraction. Good things happen to good people. Luck happens to people that are constantly doing the same thing over and over. Luck finds people that are on their purpose. It's all that in one. So it's really a great book in showing you kind of tools and ways to look at life, not only following your purpose, but when you are. And it shows, at least in the book, which I can mirror, I can reflect in my own life being 100% true. Whether you say it's the law of attraction or whether you say you just notice it more because you're thinking about it, but good things happen to people that follow their purpose. And I can't agree with that more, because the more I follow my purpose, the more I feel in tune with why I'm here, why God put me here, why the Creator put me here, why the universe put me here, whatever. I notice, and I so many good things come to me. I meet good people. I get the jobs that I said I was going to get. They happen even before I wanted them to happen. They happen so much better than I thought they could. And then just so many good things happen, and I'm so happy. And that is what happens. I can attest to that when you follow your purpose. And that's similar, pretty much the same thing of what happens in the book. And ultimately, you go through this long journey with him, and you feel like you're with him, and you feel like you are him. That's how I felt. I really did feel like I was the main character going on my own journey, and I related to my own life, and it's so relatable to all of us, to humankind, and it's a very deep and it's a deep and mystic and nostalgic kind of and very profound book all at the same time. The ending is great. All the lessons are great. It's just so artfully written. And if you look this up, I mean, even just the other day I was looking up top 10 personal development books. I think I'm starting a book club, and I was trying to find good books to read. And this was number one on the list, that one of the lists that I went on. And whether it's number one or not, it's going to be on the vast majority of personal development, top 10, top whatever books, because there's a reason it is, and because it's just so helpful to everybody, and it's written in such an artful and expressive way by the author, by Paulo Coelho. And it was pretty funny. I actually watched a video. I never knew this about the guy, and this has been my number one book forever. I mean, not forever, but I don't know what, I read it sophomore year, so I would have been 15. So for 7 years now, wow. For 7 years now, that's longer than I thought. But anyways, it was a video about the author, and he grew up. His parents didn't want him to write. They said no writing. I don't know what they wanted him to do instead, but he ended up writing, and he ended up having to write in secret because his parents didn't want him to. So he knew he had a purpose. He knew he had art, and then he wrote in secret. And then I think like he got kicked out by his parents, and they like disowned him. And then he was kind of hippie for a while, and then he's like 30, and then he got a job, and it wasn't the right job. He hated it, and then he started writing, and he wrote The Alchemist, or he wrote another book, and then he wrote The Alchemist, I think, in like 1 week or like 2 weeks or something like that. And keep in mind, it's not that long of a book. That's the other great thing about it. I've read this. I've read this multiple times, at least 5 or 6 times, and sometimes I've read it in one weekend, and those are the weekends that I remember still. Those are the weekends where I'm just sitting, just reading this thing, I'm just feeling like my heart just bouncing up, and my head's just going crazy. Like, I'm just feeling connected, man, and I'm feeling very emotional in the best way. Like, I've cried while reading this, and it's just, you just feel so connected while reading it. I love this book. But anyways, back to the story. He wrote the book, right? He wrote The Alchemist, this number one best-selling all over the world, whatever, translated in like 100 languages. And the publishers that he gave it to all said it was going to fail. They all said no. They were like, this is not going to do good, over and over and over and over and over and over. When you have a mission, when you have a purpose, there is no such thing as no. There is no such thing as maybe, or maybe it's not going to happen. No, it is going to happen. I'm going to do it until it does. I'm going to find a way. And he found a way. He got a deal with a publisher that actually they kind of felt uneasy about it. Said that the publisher, they just said they kind of felt like an omen to do it, like an intuition. And that's a big theme in the book too, which is pretty funny, pretty crazy. And they just said, hey, I kind of feel something about this. He didn't really like it, or didn't even think it was going to do good, but he just felt something. And of course, number one bestseller all over the world. He's super famous, and not only that, that's the external. He's also helped millions of people like myself and others be closer to their purpose and find more purpose in life and more love and joy and excitedness in life from this book and live it out. And that's all from one person's mind. And if he didn't follow his purpose, if he didn't write when he wasn't supposed to, and probably felt and got disowned by his own parents, this would not have happened. So I think that's the beauty. Just one example, one of many thousands of examples of how following your purpose is such a great thing to do, and how you can impact many people's lives and change the world. He has changed the world just by writing one book and following his purpose. So if you want to change the world, then you got to follow your purpose. You are responsible for following your purpose anyways. But if you really want to change the world, I hear people say that all the time, and myself, I got to hold myself accountable. First and foremost, 100%, I come first. I have to hold myself more accountable than I hold anybody else accountable. If I say I want to change the world, if anybody says they want to change the world, okay, what is your purpose and what are you doing now to make it happen? Because if you're not following it, if you want to follow the crowd, you don't want to be seen as weird, and you don't want to be different, and you don't want to get a bunch of likes, or you don't want, whatever it is. Why? First, answer that question. Why are you doing that? I've had to answer that question a lot, especially in the past, growing up. So first of all, why are you doing that? Okay, once you figure out why, then stop. Figure out what's going to get you to stop, because I also think figuring out the why will get you to stop. If you realize, okay, I'm doing this because I want to fit in, because I feel maybe early on I got bullied and I wanted to fit in ever since then. And you go back to that, you clear that up, you revisit that, And then you're like, okay, now I don't feel this urge to fit in because I realize that whole bully situation, just in this example, is blah, blah, whatever. It's negligent. Okay, now that I don't have that story blocking me, I can create the story of, hey, I'm here for a reason. I don't care how religious you are. Okay, maybe God brought me here. Maybe I'm just born. Maybe evolution got me here. Maybe creator, universe, divine brought me here. Something, you're here for a reason. Why are you here? Figure out that reason and go make it happen. And it's different for everybody. And also, you are truly the only one that knows and can express it enough to yourself to make something happen. I think that's the beauty of it, is that the purpose is in here. And whether you find that purpose by talking to God, by talking to your journal, by talking to Mother Nature, it doesn't matter how. You have to find your purpose, whether it's you feel like it's given to you or you create it. Go and follow that purpose. And that's truly how I live my life. And I think that's been my greatest strength. That's helped me through times, very, very hard times. A lot that I've created, and I've made them way harder than they needed to be. Whether regardless of that, my purpose has gotten me through that, and that is also something that I feel has been given to me and created and found by help, by myself, by God, by just tuning into my own heart and allowing life to tell me what my purpose is. And I've done that through many ways, through journaling, meditation, prayer, etc., 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 and living life. So anyways, my purpose is the reason why I make these videos, the reason why I even work out. I work out so I can get strong, so I'm strong enough to help others get stronger in different areas of life. Physical, nutrition, mental, spiritual. I love looking good and feeling good, but I don't work out to look good. I work out so I can be strong enough to impact others through fitness. And that is my mission. That is my purpose. That's how I live life. Same thing with nutrition. Same thing with the reason I read books. All this revolves around my purpose. So I think when you live life, and especially as a man, I mean, women too, 100%. But especially as a man, you putting your foot down and putting your sword in the ground and saying, this is my purpose. This is how I live. The reason I bring up a man in this example, I think that's something that is so lacking right now. I see this a lot in women. I do see this a lot in men. But I also see it a lot in men where they don't have a purpose. And they're just spending money to spend money on cars, on women, on Instagram, on porn, on whatever it is. Whatever it is. They don't have a mission. They don't have a reason to be here. And that's a place where I've been. That's a place where I've been. I lived there for a long time. And I felt no connection. I felt no literal purpose in life. And that's not a fun place to be. But I truly do believe that all of us have a purpose in here. We just have to cut out of the outside and move into the inside. Whether, like I've already said, whether that's through connection of God or you and yourself, you need to find your own purpose and move forward and make it happen in the world. And that is what has allowed me to become a personal trainer, to intern at different places, and go through 6 months of extreme and so much fun learning and just doing stuff, and for free. And I'm very lucky to do it for free. I had somewhere to live. I had food taken care of. I had a very resourceful, laid out path, and I'd be dumb not to take advantage of it. I think, again, harping on the same example, if I did not have a purpose, then I could look at that same path and walk down another one and maybe just kind of sit at home and play video games and live off my parents' money and just work a normal minimum wage job. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it wouldn't be what I want to do. The job part, not that there's anything wrong with the job part. I don't want to be sitting at home playing video games. I think that you can do a little bit better if you're doing that, especially as you grow up. But point is, living with purpose allows you to impact the world, and everybody says they want to change the world. Whether they know it or not, that's kind of what everything comes down to, which I think is awesome. We are here to impact each other and help each other. But if you really want to change the world, get to know your purpose, figure out your why, read books like this, like The Alchemist, that help you realize those things. And really what you'll learn from this, and what I would say too, is it starts with you. Follow your dreams, figure out what your dreams are, follow them to the end. It doesn't matter how many setbacks you run into, because you will, And not only will you, you need to. I need to. I have so many challenges that I'm going to run into later on, and I'm so thankful for them. Because if I did not have challenges now and later on and in the past, I would not be who and where I am today. And I love who and where I am today. And I love where I'm going to be in the future because I'm going to be even better and more grateful and more joyful of life. And again, this all revolves around purpose. Why am I here? I am here to impact others through fitness and make them better and enjoy more out of life. Okay, how do I do that? I work with them on the physical, mental, nutritional, spiritual, and I do it by first working on myself. And this is an ongoing process, and that's the beauty of it. So, all in all, find your purpose, find your why, write it down, memorize it, put it on your mirror, do whatever you need to do. This is going to make life much, quote unquote, easier, much more enjoyable. I'd rather say that. Much more enjoyable and much more meaningful. Just like in the book, you start to run into good people, good things happen to you. You find yourself feeling lucky and becoming lucky. I am extremely lucky. But a lot of it is because I'm constantly out there working and making things happen and putting myself out there. And luck, if you want to call it that, or opportunities, find people like that. And that is something I am extremely grateful for, that I have the opportunity to do. I get to do it. I get to follow my purpose. I'm not a child slave labor born 200 years ago in this country. I don't live in the streets in some other country, which of 100,000 to 1 chance of me being in another country, seriously, being born on a street where I have to work to make $1 a week or $1 a day to feed my family, and then who knows what. They still have an opportunity, and I hope to God they do. And I hope to God I can help them and impact them now and someday. But I live in freaking McKinney, Texas, in the United States of America in 2020, where I have a phone. I have a phone, the rarest and one of the most amazing things in the world. I have a computer, and I have a body that can move, a mouth I can speak. I don't have to type everything. I have so much opportunity to follow my purpose, and that's what I'm doing now. So my rant is over. I could go on and on and on and on about this. You guys are awesome. Find your purpose. I support you. Go out and make it happen. Go out and make it happen. Seriously, I want to see you, because also, very last thing, I know I'm going to rant. I love people that follow their purpose because I see it, I respect it, and it's also competition. Whenever I see people doing good, it makes me want to do better. I want the same thing for you. I want you, if you see me doing good, I want you to try to do better than me, because we're going to constantly build each other up, and that's how we impact the world, and that's how we follow our purpose. Done.